Good morning, class. I hope you enjoyed your spring break. We did a lot of work on our house, and like many of you, we didn't really get out and about, but we still enjoyed our time at home, and hope you guys did as well. So today is Monday, March 30th, 2020, and this is just a list of a few things that we're going to be doing for today. So today in math, we're going to learn a little bit about angles. It's something you learned in 4th grade, and we're just going to review it a bit this week because it will help shapes, which we're going to be going into probably next week, make a little bit more sense. You will have a seesaw assignment to do afterwards with angles. In reading today, you guys are going to be reading an article called Egypt, History and Mystery. It's another one like the Ring of Fire you read. It'll be 2 pages. I'll have a question for you to answer on a Google quiz afterward. In writing, you're still going to be on how Paul Elementary could be more green, but you're going to be finishing editing and typing in a final copy into Google Docs. For science this week, we're going to be learning about birds. We're going to be learning about all the different vertebrate or animals with backbone groups, animals in that group for the next couple of days. So you learned about mammals last week, and this week for the next couple of days, birds and some of the other animals that are in that same group. There'll also be a quiz question about birds on your quiz today. So make sure that you read the book on Epic carefully. And then today we're going to pretend that we are at school. So you would have computers. It would be prep 1. And I'm going to have you guys look into exploring ancient Egypt. I will put in a link on your Google Classroom. Found this really cool little website that you can go and check out. It's optional, you don't have to do it, but there's a lot of neat things on there. Okay, and just a reminder, we have some upcoming assignments. You should have finished your book for your book movie project already. You should have finished the movie for the book movie project, and we're going to be starting a digital presentation using Book Creator. Here on the next slide, you're going to see, here's an example of one I've done. So we have the front cover here that I did on Book Creator, Cinderella, book versus movie. My first page was this book here. It goes over each thing that I would normally have put on my poster, but since we won't be at school to do that, I'm just doing it in a Book Creator. So the main characters, minor characters, which are characters who are in the story, but they're not the most important character in there. The setting, the problem, the theme, what I thought the character learned, and a summary. You can see that happening again over here with the movie version, and then I used Venn to mark down the things that were the same and different about the book and the movie. And you can start working on that this week. If you haven't finished your book or movie, remember the projects aren't due until April 10th, but don't put it off till the day before. You'll probably regret that decision. Okay guys, so let's get into some math. So today we're going to learn how to identify angles, as I said earlier. This will help you more fully understand shapes, because when we start talking about shapes, some things that make shapes stand out from one another are the types of angles that are in the shape. So if we all have a common language or vocabulary and we know what these angles are called, it'll help shapes make more sense. So here are a few that I actually found here in my own house. These are pictures from my bathroom, but this here is a right angle. This shelf that I have. Here's a little vase that I have sitting on that same shelf, and we have an acute angle, and then this is the floor, and there's an obtuse angle, and we'll get into the particulars on those. So check this out. So right angles are everywhere. These are probably the most simple angle that you can find. They measure 90 degrees, which doesn't mean a whole lot, but they look like the letter L or the corner of a square. So here we have this picture of this window laying on the ground, and right here you see that kind of L shape, or it looks like a corner of a square. That is a 90-degree angle. Now, a protractor is what 5th graders use to measure angles. So if we had been in class, we would have used something like this so we could actually find out how many degrees the angle is. And for this, it would have come out as a perfect 90. We won't be able to use protractors, but just so you're aware, this is the tool that we would use in classroom, and you may have an opportunity to use them at a later date. Okay, so we talked about a right angle. It's that L shaped here, and we see that here on this slide. A right angle is that L shape. There are 2 other types of angles that we're going to discuss today. Besides right angles, there are also acute and obtuse. The acute angle is 0 to 89 degrees, so it's just right under that 90-degree mark all the way down to 0, and it's shaped like the letter V. So it's kind of like you took that right angle here and squished it. I want you guys to think of an acute angle at home and take a picture of that. You can do that after the video, or you can pause now and take a picture. Here I put in a picture of a laptop that's got that acute angle, kind of like a V. All right, the obtuse angle is the other angle. This one is 91 degrees to 180, so it's that top range. It's shaped like the letter L that's been stretched out and is no longer a square. So here, again, we've got a right angle, looks like the corner of a square. The acute looks like, excuse me, the acute looks like that's been squished, and then the obtuse looks like you've pulled it apart. Again, I want you to think of an obtuse angle at home. Walk around, you might be surprised at what you can find. Here I've got a picture of a clock, and the hands here are stretched beyond a V or that perfect square shape. So this would be a time up to you. You might pause, take your 3 photos of angles. We're going to be putting them in a pic collage, and you're going to upload them to Seesaw. I will have an example on our Google Classroom for you to see. All right, so for reading today, we're now finished with math. So for reading today, you're going to go to that short story also on your Google Classroom. It's called Ancient Egypt History Mystery. Make sure that you get it in the proper language. Make sure you're in the English copy of it. When you're finished reading it, you will have one question about this passage. We'll be using this passage all week, and there'll be a multiple questions about it over the course of the week. So you'll probably get pretty familiar with this. Make sure when you get finished, the quiz that you're going to be taking with math questions, reading questions, science questions, remember that's going to be in your classroom tab on your Google Classroom under the folder remote learning quizzes. All right. Also, if you're interested in ancient Egypt or you know some great facts, go ahead and put those in the comment section below. You can add a link to another video or something interesting you found online, or just make a comment. Science. So this is an awesome book. It's on your Epic, and it's in a mailbox called Biology Review. It's about birds, and there's a lot of interesting facts in there that you may or may not know about birds. Okay, and writing. So today you're going to be finishing editing your essay on how Paul Elementary could be more green. If you've already done this, begin typing your final copy into Google Docs. If you have a grown-up around, ask them to read over your essay. They'll be able to tell if it makes sense and sounds right, and they'll know a lot about grammar as well, and will be able to help fix things. I've posted a picture of your editing anchor chart, the rainbow editing. I will be putting that on your Google Classroom as well, so you can click on that and open it up, use some colored pencils, crayons, markers, whatever you need to make edits. All right, and then if you choose today to do prep, like I said, it's computers, and I'm going to have a link on your Google Classroom to a website about ancient Egypt. If you have time and you're interested, check it out. There's some really cool things on there, like a keyboard and hieroglyphics, so you can see how to write your name or to write other messages. There's numbers, and there's other things. You can go into tours and see what the insides of the pyramids look like. There's some videos on how mummification was done, and even a recent one where someone was mummified here in the last 10 years and how they did it in modern days. Anyway, it's nice to see you guys back from spring break. Remember that the Meet app will be open. Our password will be help, and I'm going to be on there live from 8:30 to 10 every single morning. So you can just pop in there if you have any questions, need help, or if you just want to visit with some friends. Also, I will be available to answer your questions on Google Classroom all the way until 3 o'clock during the day. Remember, once I'm only answering questions on Google Classroom from 10 to 3, my answers might not be as quickly as they would be on the live meet. So if you really have a question that you really need to know, make sure you're on live meet. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow or talk to you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.